What's up, everybody? It's your boy Wes Grand. You're watching Sub Urban Nerd. This channel where I give my nerd reviews on today's nerd news. Also give movie reviews. And today's movie I'm going to be reviewing is Underwater. Yes, I just like to thank you, everybody. If you guys are wondering the shirt is from Joe Kubert, School for Arts. And if you wanted to become a comic designer or comic drawer, you go to Joe Kubert School in Dover. This is not sponsored by them. I just think the school is badass. So getting back to this, I'm going to talk about Underwater. And if you haven't seen any of my reviews, usually I kind of give you a gist of what the story is about. Then I give you my pros, I give you my cons, and then I give her a grade at the end. And that's pretty much it. And then you tell me if you like this review. So, just gonna start off by saying that I like this movie. Surprisingly, yes. This movie is about basically an underwater base that's drilling into the Marinara Trench. I always be mistaken if it's Marinaris or Marinara. I don't know. Either way, they're drilling down in the deepest part of the earth, trying to get resources. And then guess what? Shit go cray. My bad. Things go cray. And somehow they unleash some sort of beasts or creatures from below that weren't supposed to be released. And then you got Kristen Stewart, who's pretty much just how she's not like the smartest tech, but she's a tech person. She's like not the computer like hacking, but she knows how to research, set breakers and circuits, and she's sort of a tech person, so she knows how to kind of get around. And this thing just starts off with a bang. Like, I'm watching this, it's about 2 minutes into it. I'm watching, I'm like, okay, because I seen it from the trailer. Like, she's brushing her teeth. She comes out, she's a little water dripping. I'm like, is it gonna start this early? Bam! Just in the commercials, see the water rushing, and then she's running, and then the black guy's running, and then they run, and then they're getting to a little hatchet area, and then the door's not closing. She has to open it, and then you see some people running. The black guy's like, "Close it! We're not gonna make it." And so then she closes it last minute. Boom! Then the whole section you see from the outside just drops down, and then you're just following these people. That you're following Kristen Stewart and this black guy. I'm gonna say token black guy because that's pretty much what he is. And then you meet up with some other characters, but the main ones that you might know is I forget the Asian chick from Iron Fist. Who I've got the biggest crush on her. She's so gorgeous. But yeah, her and T.J. Miller is actually in this, and he brings I like T.J. Miller. Like, I know he's having his controversy outside of this whole thing, but actually I like T.J. Miller. He brings a sort of levity and comedic charm to some of the movies he's in. Like, look at Ready Player One. He was a bad guy, but I liked him as a bad guy. And same thing with this. He plays that kind of like the jokey guy, but it works because in all jobs, there's always someone that kind of joking. In fact, I think I'm the jokey guy at my job. So you're following T.J. Miller, Kristen Stewart, which I'm going to tell you right now. Kristen Stewart, she has come a long way. I know some people are like, oh, she's always been a great actress. No, she is not. Because I don't care if you're talking about Twilight. I don't care about Twilight. Twilight was just a bad kind of series in general. Except for the Brick and Dawn Part 2. That was pretty good. But her, I've seen her in Snow White and a Huntsman. And all I kept seeing was her mouth like this. With the 4 teeth or 2 teeth. The whole time. And then I could point it out to people. So no, she was not always the best actress. But in this, she does a great job. Because you know what? I don't know if she took some lessons. I don't know if just growth in general. But her character, I liked her character. Her personality of her character was kind of cool. It was kind of like the no nonsense. But except like, let's just deal with what we got to do with. She's like literally like, just tell us if it's a possibility we're gonna die. And it was like, yes, there's a possibility we're gonna die, but you gotta admit, there's a possibility that we can live. And she's like, okay. And I liked her character, and she generally cared about the other people, and she was a trooper. Like, she tried to go through. She was there for everybody when they needed her, and that's pretty. I liked her character. Now, this movie is definitely not how you say something completely unique. If you want to compare it to some movies, you could easily compare it to, say, Aliens. Yes, you could compare it to Aliens. I would actually compare it to Descent. If you guys haven't seen Descent, really check that movie out. It's very claustrophobic, and there are these females that are climbing down to the caverns and caves underground, and it's very claustrophobic-y, like, if that's even a word, like Descent. Some other movies is close to, like, Pandorum, as far as just like the invasion and trying to survive this thing. And this movie is pretty much I wouldn't say a scary movie. It was like a thriller horror in a way, with these creatures and then them just trying to get, and basically they've got to get from one section of this base that's about to collapse, walk across the seafloor to another base where they can get in pods and get shot up to the surface. Now, I know as far as when you're going from the surface, you can't just shoot straight up. So I'm hoping that the pods, whatever, kind of stop at a certain point, so you can, because I forget what they call it. If you raise from a low depth too high too soon, you get messed up in the head. The oxygen doesn't level out, and it just really get messed up. So yeah, that's me thinking a little bit too much. But overall, this movie was a great thriller. Something that probably seemed like it probably should have came out in the 1990 somethings, but overall it's still good. Now I'm gonna give you my cons. One of my cons is right off the bat, that token black guy. One thing I hate is how sometimes in in horror movies, there's a black guy, right? And sure, they kill, or not even movies, in general, there's a black guy. And for some reason, the black guy dies the most goriest, graphic way, other than other characters. Sure, other characters will get pulled in, or like, oh, splatter blood. But when it comes to black people, you get the most, like, say for instance, I forget what that black kid from Everybody Hates, what's it called? Chris Rock. Everybody Hates Chris, right? The guy that played him is older. He was in, The Walking Dead. And there was a movie, since I guess he was in Revolving Door, where he's getting ripped to shreds. And I don't remember seeing anybody else in that thing. But they're pulling the skin off his face and he's screaming, oh, I'm in pain. That's one off. Then there was a movie with, where they were stuck on top of a mountain. The Silence of the Lambs guy, I forget what his name is right now. But there was a bear, and apparently someone left blood or whatever. And then the guy with the bear, the black guy, gets ripped to shreds. And you're, why is it always the black people that die the worst? That's one thing I'm wondering. So that's one thing that kind of dropped down the points for this. All right. That being said, okay, that's a trope that for some reason horror flicks always got to do. Kill the black guy the worst, most goriest. Okay. Because in this movie, oh my god, just the way he dies in pieces. Next thing you know, I'm going to tell you how come I was wondering how long does these oxygen tanks go for? Because they're walking across the floor and they established that like it goes from blue to red fairly quick. Then all of a sudden they're walking across the floor all on red, and I'm like, how long does it last? Because if it shouldn't go from blue to red so quickly, and then the red lasts even longer. It should be like blue, gradually green or something like that, until orange, until it gets to red. But I don't know how long this oxygen lasts. And like I said, I know it's sort of cliche, but I think that works for it in a way. You know, it definitely works for it. And last of all, these monsters, right? One thing you learn from watching Aliens is you don't mess with things that don't look right. If you see something, oh man, something's in there, you don't go poking around in it. Look at Prometheus, that stupid doctor that with the cobra-looking snake. Why would you stick your hand in there? Same thing with this. When they get this alien, I don't know if maybe they started going after him because of the baby, but let's just say, I don't think it can ever help when you're getting these things. Sure, you want to find out more about these monsters, but I say you just get to where you got to go and get the hell out of there. That's all I'm saying. So those were kind of my cons, like the cliche of messing with these aliens or putting your hands in things really shouldn't. Like when you know you should go, go. So that's pretty much it. But if I had to give this movie a grade, I'm going to say positively, I'm giving it a B, a solid B, because although this movie wasn't the most creative thing in the world, although this movie wasn't like the scariest thing in the world, but this movie was very entertaining and I like the characters. I like all the characters. Captain of, forget what the Asian girl's name, I liked her character. I liked TJ Miller's, and I especially liked, you know, Kristen Stewart, because she blew me away as far as she didn't play Kristen Stewart. And I liked that. So that's pretty much my review for this movie. Hopefully you guys watch this movie because it's very entertaining. You should really take someone to see it. I know it's in January, but it's worth seeing. It's worth that AMC ticket if you have it. It's worth actually paying for if you like a good kind of thriller, horror, scary kind of movie-ish, you know? So thank you for checking out the video. Remember to comment down below, share this video to all your friends. Remember to subscribe. Check out my last movie review. Check out my playlist of movie review. Remember, I'm with Grant. You've been watching Suburban Nerd, and you've just been nerdified. Catch you guys on the next movie review.